Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica. If you are new here, I create content about all kinds of things. And today we're talking about baby oil gate. If you watch Armon Wiggins content or if you have kept up with his coverage of Diddy's trial, you know what I'm talking about. In the midst of all the chaos that was going on following the verdict in Diddy's trial last week, Armon called for more oil, and I think he got a little bit too much because it led to a lot of controversy. So I don't want to show the clip. If you follow this case and this video appeared on your feed, you already know what I'm talking about. And I really just wanted to share my thoughts on the backlash that he's receiving and the situation in general. Armon is someone that I learned about, I guess, within the last year and a half, maybe. I learned of him through Milagro Graham's channel. I no longer watch her, but I still watch Armand. It's crazy how things like that work. Don't always agree with his takes, but I'm not the type of person who I gotta agree with you on everything in order to watch your content. That's just not me. We don't live in a world where we always agree with one another. So he is someone that I enjoy watching because I love the way that he delivers his content. I love that he stands on his opinion. It's hard in today's society to publicly go against the grain. It's not hard to do it within your own space, but when we're talking about online and just like now, all this backlash that he's receiving, the average person just cannot hold true to their convictions. That's why you have so many people that sell out. So I really do. I can't say whether or not Armand sells out on this issue or another because I know people are kind of iffy when it comes to him and his takes on female rappers. But for the most part, I enjoy his content and I would consider myself to be a fan. If you've watched his content, and even if you haven't, especially of his coverage of the Diddy case, his sayings throughout the case became infectious. Mainly more oil, more oil. Me and my husband even walk around the house and we'll catch ourselves saying more oil. Or how he says, stay in the light, got his Diddy Dukes on. His sayings throughout the coverage of the trial became infectious to the point where you can look at any comment section under his videos and people are asking for more oil. His coverage eventually led to opportunities to appear on mainstream media outlets and these establishment media companies such as like your TMZ. And unfortunately for him, all of this has been kind of overshadowed by the more oil moment where he was the news outlets are saying celebrated. I don't personally believe that he was celebrating the verdict. I think that he was just kind of doing what he does online and he did it in person. But all of that kind of overshadowed the work that he's done throughout his coverage of the case. So I want to share my thoughts and give my 2 cents on these opportunities that people are saying that he will lose because of this. So, number one, everybody makes mistakes. Some people make their mistakes publicly and the world watches them make those mistakes, while others, me, you, we make our mistakes in private or behind the closed doors of our home or around our inner circle, and we can deal with them privately. Unfortunately for Armand, this particular mistake has been broadcast across the internet and has reached people throughout the world. So I did watch his live stream where he addressed the situation, and I think that it would have been better if he would have just acknowledged that, hey, it was a bad decision. Now I haven't. Let me look up and see if he has said anything on Instagram because I kind of jotted these notes down as soon as okay, it looks like he made a statement on Instagram. So let me before I go into that, because I'm just going off the what I saw in the video, let me see what he said in his statement. Oh wow. So he's talked about it on Angela Yee's show. Okay, so let's read his statement. It says yesterday a clip of me outside the courthouse went viral and was taken out of context. What started as a lighthearted moment, part of a long-running joke with my audience, was misinterpreted as support for Sean Diddy Combs. That was never my intention. For the past 60 days, I've worked hard to cover this case with honesty and objectivity. That moment was about sharing a bit of levity with the community that's been on this journey with me, nothing more. Still, I fully understand how the timing and optics may have felt hurtful, especially to survivors of abuse. I sincerely apologize to anyone who was impacted or disappointed. This has been a reminder to move with greater care, and I remain committed to doing this work with integrity and heart. Wow, somebody I follow says, Cap, you didn't think about the backlash in which you are receiving. Don't apologize now. That's not fair. Um, you knew damn well Diddy was victimizing people and decided to have a viral moment for you. Okay, so somebody was we as your supporters knew you meant no ill intent, but I can understand why you apologize. You literally set your self back light years with these non-forced error in judgment. So many folks were you rooting for you. I think the apology was warranted. Okay, yeah. So people have their different takes on it. So now that I've seen his statement, and as y'all can see, it ain't stopped nothing. But I'm gonna get there. Let me continue on with my 2 cents. So I think that it would have been better if he would have just acknowledged, like, hey, this was a bad decision. I did this for XYZ, but in hindsight, I should not have done it. I think he should have just said that, because when you apologize and you go into why you did it, and that's kind of irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that it was done, and you just take accountability for doing it, and be honest about it being a bad decision, because it was. Now, as a viewer of his content, I have not really been interested in Diddy's case, but I have enjoyed watching Armon talk about it. Armon was the one that I, kind of watched for that. I really, really enjoyed it. And I understood, I understood kind of what was going on, that he says more oil, and he's laughing and he plays about it. But it's the optics around the situation that made it unwise to do. Now, maybe if he had done this on his live stream where he could have controlled it and controlled that narrative, maybe it would not have been as bad for him, because he, along with his viewers like me, we know what's up. We know what's up when he's saying more oil. We know that has nothing to do with him condoning what Diddy did or anything that any victims were going through. That was one of the sayings that picked up steam on his platform. And I also think, had he done it on his own platform, or like had that happened on his live stream, it would not have circulated the internet the way that it did. And that's if he just had to do it. You can tell just by watching him, that this was something that likely happened in the moment. It was not. I refuse to believe anybody that's saying he planned to do that, or he went, he had those intentions of doing that post the verdict announcement. Now, over the past couple of years, really post pandemic, we see how quickly folks will turn on you and delight in your mistakes or in your troubles. And this is why you cannot believe the hype. I tell people this all the time. I don't get hyped up by folks telling me this or telling me that. I don't get into the hype, because I know if I say one wrong thing or one thing that you don't agree with, you're going to turn on me. Even peers, even people that are close to me, it's going to happen. All of it's fair in this content game. If somebody can catch you doing something or saying something that's going to give them a moment, because I noticed how Milagro had that clipped on her page, and they've had their back and forth, but she knows what it's like to be under scrutiny for what she's done or what she said. Yet she clipped that piece and put it out so that she could get those views. So all is fair in this content game. You really have to be on your P's and Q's. Is this worth it or is it not? You have to be like that with everything. Even with just the smallest things, you have to be very, very protective of your brand. And I would advise Armon to do the same, because once something's out there, you can't always control the narrative. And his thing was, people are misinterpreting what I did. That's what the internet does. It's really naive to think that you could do something that looks bad and people won't make it bad. That's just what comes with the game. Now, I want to talk about people saying, oh, you set us back and you're not going to be invited to these platforms and this, and that. First, now I create content for YouTube and social media, but I also work professionally in the media and communications industry. I literally have been doing this my entire adult life. I have 2 degrees in media. I run my own media agency. I'm a contractor for other media agencies. I really do this. And I just want to put this out there for people who are saying, he set us back and you won't get these opportunities. Do not let the fact that mainstream media called on him to appear as if they are just these wonderful platforms and everybody should be honored to be on them. Now, they are great accomplishments. Who would not want to be on a mainstream media platform? But what people don't realize is that mainstream media is dying. It's almost dead, right? And it's been dying for years because people are waking up to the truth when it comes to the media in this world and narratives and framing and all of those things that the media does to push their agenda. So if you know, you know. And if you don't, you need to find out, okay? Like, mainstream media is dying. Independent content creators like Armon are outperforming media in every way besides having those billionaires backing them, right? So they're beginning to use independent creators because they don't have the clout with the people or the ear with the people like they used to. That's why you see all of these creators going onto these platforms. It's not that these creators are doing these amazing things, though they are. It's more about, we can't get the eyes of the people like y'all can. So come on over to my platform and bring some of those views over here. Please believe that just as much as Armand or any other creator may be honored, and it is an honor to be on these platforms, know that they are doing that so that they can get a return as well. Even Armand talked about how some of the media professionals, from your traditional mainstream media, kind of look down on him for being a YouTuber and being in that same space. I'm telling y'all, mainstream media is dying. So independent creators are really the wave right now. He may miss out on some future opportunities, and understandably so. I get it. I really, really do. But at the end of the day, he's still winning. He's still winning. Mainstream media is not the end all be all when it comes to success and creating content. It's just not. And I'm proved to be right, because when I went on his Instagram, I saw that he's back on Angela Yee's show addressing the situation. So, good for him that he still at least has that opportunity going. Now, I'm going to continue to watch Armand and support him. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we can't support you. Shame on you. I'm watching somebody else." And everybody has their right to do that. But I'm going to continue to watch him and support him, because I do think that he is being judged a little bit unfairly. He's not on trial. Diddy was on trial. Armand is not responsible for those victims. Diddy is responsible for that. So I do think that people are getting a little bit carried away, and it's a little bit of performance going on when it comes to this outrage. But I'm going to continue to support him. I think that he has done a great job, despite not taking as much accountability as he should have. Other than that, he's done a pretty good job on handling tough situations, from, what went on with Fox Soul and now this. And it hasn't stopped him. And that's admirable to me, as somebody who makes content, who has controversial opinions that I'm not always willing to share, or, I go back and forth about sharing. I always am inspired by people who don't have that fear and who can just stand on their square, stand on their business, and say what they mean and not be afraid of what people have to think about it. And I know that if I were in his position, I'm not mentally or emotionally strong enough to be able to live out some of my worst moments for the world to see across the internet. So that alone is admirable to me. I applaud him for not letting it get him down or letting it stop him, because I probably would want to crawl under the covers and never come out again. But as we see, he's still popping his on Angela Yee's show, and good for him. Good for him. I hope that this is a learning experience for him and for anybody else out there that wants to create content again, I do this professionally, and your brand is everything. So make sure that you safeguard your brand, Armon. Don't do that no more. Keep the oil on your stream, okay? Don't let it spill out in the public. We'll need you having to make any more statements, okay? So that's my 2 cents on this situation. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you enjoyed this commentary, make sure you like this video. If you like to see more from me, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future content. And